This is Big Tasty here. You've been giving me lots of nice shout outs and things for, I don't know. It's been nice here in Peru. And then the Taco Bell review was really nice too. It was just really pleasant. So I thought today I'd take a moment to eat some tacos while watching my favorite movie, or one of my favorite movies, Sling Blade, starring Billy Bob Thornton, directed by Billy Bob Thornton, probably from, I think, 1996. I'd look at the box, but I'm lazy. So I got a whole mess of those Doritos Tacos Locos. I did the bean substitution instead of meat. That's actually what I do anyway. Like, we're kind of all in the similar club with that. I used to put the bags of frozen meat in the immersion circulator. It was a good time when it was in. So now here we go. We're starting off Sling Blade here. We're at the scene where you introduced to Billy Bob and the old folks, or the loony bin. The loony bin. I got my bag of tacos. I'm gonna have to figure out enough problems like just kind of fast forwarding, getting to what I need to do. So this might be fairly incompetent, but I only have one time to do it. I'm gonna do it anyway and see what happens. I chose the fire and some of the border fire roasted salsa. They're really trying for some flavors out here. Very exciting stuff. They have a trash can on hand. Some dong art in the background. Yeah, I draw dongs. Just been drawing a lot of white dudes, figuring things out, like at odds with their world or whatever. Weird white dudes.
How much do you want to spend? And I said, whatever it takes to see that bush of yours, but I know it's a big one. And she says to me, $25. It's not chicken feed, you know, to work in me. And so I produced the $25, and she sticks it down into her shoe, pulls up the skirt, and there, before me, lay this thin, crooked, uncircumcised penis. You can imagine how bad I want my $25 back, huh?
So, I work in food service and I deal a lot with wine pairing. So, I'm finding now like the pairing of this film to this taco is probably going to be pretty spectacular. We got the creaminess of sour cream. I went supreme this time, so all of my tacos I'll be eating for the duration of this video do have sour cream and extra shit on them. A little bit of salsa. I might have to bust out like a little creation later. So now the girls, these young girls from a high school are coming in to actually interview Carl, who's about to be released. Carl Childers being the lead character in Sling Blade, played by Billy Bob Thornton.
A young man named John Leggett Hunter who was in the film.
Yeah, right now Carl's being
but he was one of these young
by
men we run
one of his
across in life.
co-inmates.
I'm sure you run across him, who didn't deserve what he had. You know, and one of the things he had was this beautiful young bride, Sarah.
I think this is a two taco scene.
Georgia Peach. In fact, she was more like the picture I had in my mind than any woman I had ever seen. So I took it upon myself to take her away from John Leggett Hunter, who did not deserve her. You know. Oh, I don't know if I told you, but he was a Frenchman who claimed to be an Englishman. Took a lot of strong nylon cord to get her away from him because she was a fighter as well as being a Georgia
Covered
Peach.
in fresh taste.
Well, I think there must have been a little mix-up. I talked to your sponsor or teacher, whoever he is, and I told him that there couldn't be any pictures. It's supposed to be like an article or a story, something like that, isn't it? Right?
Well, yeah, it's for the school newspaper, but it has pictures. I mean, it's a regular paper, you know.
Well, Carl's real sensitive about having his picture made. He wouldn't even be on the bulletin board for the Easter collage.
No. Shovel just makes too goddamn much racket.
All I can do is talk to him and see what he says.
You gotta make something explode to truly understand it. I mean, you gotta examine all those little tiny particles while they're still on fire.
Carl, I've got to take you down to the old classroom. Mr. Woolridge has some people for you to see down here. Come on, let's go.
You remember me telling you
Let's
about
see if we
those
can
people
cue it
from
up
that
to the big
newspaper?
monologue now.
They want to ask you some questions about your release.
Man, these tacos are delicious, and I mean, the pairing with the film is really spot on. Oh, I also have a beverage sponsor today. Oh shit, I gotta reach for it. I'm using my other finger to fast forward the film to the right point. They turn out the lights. In walks Carl Childers. This video is brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's get another taco out. See how this one.
Well, I reckon what you're wanting to know is what I'm doing in here. I reckon the reason I'm in here is because I've killed somebody. But I reckon what you're wanting to know is how come me to kill somebody, so I reckon I'll start at the front and tell you. I lived out back on my mother and father's place most of my life in a little old shed that my daddy'd built for me. They didn't too much want me up there in the house with the rest of them. So mostly I just sat around out there in the shed looking at the ground. I didn't have no floor out there, but I had me a hole dug out to lay down in, a quilt or two to put down there. My father was a hard-working man most of his life. Not that I can say the same for myself. I mostly just sat around out there in the shed, tinkered around with a lawnmower or two. Went to school off and on from time to time. But the children out there, they were very cruel to me and made quite a bit of sport of me, made fun of me quite a bit. So mostly, I just sat around out there in the shed. My daddy worked down there at the sawmill, down at the planer mill, for an old man named Dixon. The old man Dixon was a very cruel feller. Didn't treat his employees very well, didn't pay them too much of a wage, didn't pay my daddy too much of a wage. Just barely enough to get by on, I reckon. But I reckon he got by all right. They used to come out, one or the other of them. Usually my mother feed me pretty regular. So I know he made enough to where I could have mustard and biscuits 3 or 4 times a week. Well, old man Dixon, he had a boy. His name was Jesse Dixon. Jesse was really more cruel than his daddy was. He used to make quite a bit of sport of me when I was down there at the schoolhouse. Used to take advantage of little girls there in the neighborhood and all. They used to say that my mother was a very pretty woman. They said that quite a bit from time to time when I'd be down there at the schoolhouse. Well, I reckon you want me to get on with it and tell you what happened, so I reckon I'll tell you. I was sitting out there in the shed one evening, not doing too much of nothing, just kind of staring at the wall and waiting on my mother to come out and give me my Bible lesson, you know. Well, I hear the commotion up there in the house, so I run up on the screened in porch to see what is going on. I looked in the window there and I seen my mother laying on the floor there, need clothes on. I seen Jesse Dixon laying on top of her. He was having his way with her. Well, I just seen red. I picked up a Kaiser blade that was sitting there by the screen door. Some folks called it a Sling Blade. I call it a Kaiser blade. Just kind of a long wood handle, kind of like an axe handle, with a long blade on it, shaped kind of like a banana. Sharp on one edge and dull on the other. It's what the highway boys used to cut down weeds and whatnot, you know. Well, I went in there in the house, and I hit Jesse Dixon upside the head with it, knocked him off my mother. I reckon that didn't quite satisfy me. So I hit him again with it in the neck with a sharp edge and just plumb near cut his head off. Killed him. My mother, she jumped up in there and started hollering, "What'd you kill Jesse for? What'd you kill Jesse for?" Well, come to find out, I don't reckon my mother minded what Jesse was doing to her. I reckon that made me madder than what Jesse'd made me. So I taken the Kaiser blade. Some folks called it a Sling Blade. I call it a Kaiser blade. And I hit my mother upside the head with it. Killed her. Some folks has asked me, if you had it to do over again, would you do it the same way? Well, I reckon I would. Anyhow, they seen fit to put me in here, and here I've been for a great long while. I've learned to read some. Took me 4 years to read the Bible. I reckon I understand a great deal of it. Wasn't what I expected in some places. I slept in a good bed for a great long while. Now they seem to have to put me out of here. They say they're setting me free today. Anyhow, I reckon that's all you need to know. You want to hear about more details, I reckon I can tell them to ye. I don't know whether or not that's enough for your newspaper or not.
Will you ever kill anybody again, Carl?
I don't reckon I got no reason to kill nobody.
So now we're gonna fast forward a little bit to a little later. He's been released from his facility. I have a final taco that would be taco number 6. This will be my 6th tacos Doritos Locos Lock taco today. But I'm gonna do a little something special with it. I want to kind of prepare it a certain way and make it nice. So we'll get through to that here. We're just fast forwarding. Carl's just, about to get off the bus here, and he's going to be a psychologically young man in a big, scary world. He's a simple man. He's carrying books. Okay, so we're going through here. All right, if only the menu was a little more better laid out, I could, just go directly to the scenes. So my last taco concoction, I'm going to put some of this lovely sauce in there. It's Yucateca, super hot, really good. So right now we're up to the scene where he goes to the Frosty Cream, and I guess Benton, Arkansas is where this movie takes place. And he orders food from Jim Jarmusch.
Can I help you, sir?
So
Can I
for
help
this
you,
scene,
sir?
I kind of want something other to eat.
Bean burrito.
Well, what would you like?
You got any biscuits for sale in there?
Well, no, this here's a Frosty Cream. We don't serve biscuits.
Oh man, this
We got
is
a lot of other
vile.
stuff, though.
What you got in there is good to eat.
Well, we got Big Sheep Burgers, Bongo Burgers, Footlongs, Corny Dogs, Frosty Shakes, Creamy Bars. Did you want me to go through the whole list?
Reckon what you like to eat in there?
Well, the French fries are pretty good.
Oh, yes.
French fried potatoes?
Yep, French fries.
How much you want for 'em?
Well, they're 60 for the medium and 75 for large.
I reckon I'll have me some of the big ones.
All right, then one large French fries.
There we go. Ah, yeah, it's all in there. All right, let's get up to my favorite line here in this movie.
I like Cuba.
Thank you, sir.
Frankie, get some of this salad.
You two afflicted some bitches know anything about.
What exactly are you talking about? I don't understand.
Exactly the point, my young level.
Oh, here we go. So, we're about to watch Dwight Yoakam flip out on his bandmates.
We don't even play any songs with words at all, that I remember. We ain't got no fucking microphone. We ain't got no speaker set up.
We wrote one last night outside the mini mart. Morris called it "Stuart Drives a Comfortable Car," and then, like in country songs, you know, in parentheses, it says, "There's usually someone in the trunk." And I came up with a tune just to hum it.
So you don't want to question her genius, Vaughn. Morris here, he's a modern day poet. Kind of like in the olden times.
Yeah, I got a new tune and some compositions entitled The Thrill. Goes something like this. I stand on the hill, not for a thrill, but for a breath of a fresh kill. And never mind the man who contemplates doing away with license plates. He stands alone anyhow, baking the cookies.
I'm getting pretty hammered right now. This is
By the heat.
not like drawn, but...
Leaving his soul.
So 6
Then
tacos,
like in
Doritos
poetry,
Locos, and a bean
I go
burrito.
dot, dot, dot. You know, kind of off center. Then I drop down
Guess I'm not young
and I
anymore.
go, leaving his soul. Leaving his waters of the medulla oblongata of mankind. A damn good song, wasn't it, Dora? You like that song? All right.
I don't think that's right. I believe the dot 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 come between medulla and oblongata. Well, it did.
The dots are where I say they are. Melody and tune. That's your trade term. You're a tunesmith.
I don't understand the meaning of the words.
If y'all don't shut up, I'm gonna go out of my mind. Besides, Carl here's liable to bust his spring. He's already off balance.
That wasn't the way you made it up before, Morris. That's all I know.
Oh, we don't need no fancy words. I mean, we need to practice. We need to rehearse.
I'll tell you what we need. We need some paying gigs. We don't need just messing around, first one patio and then another, and that's ridiculous.
Amen, Johnson.
We don't got no goddamn band. We don't need to fucking practice, Randy. We don't need a shit-ass manager neither. You motherfuckers. Y'all just a bunch of losers. I'm the only one sane son of a bitch here. Just get the fuck out of my house now.
Not your house, Doyle. It's Linda's.
I'll whip the dog shit out of you, Vaughn. I will fucking kill you if you talk to me again. Now, all of you, get the fuck out now before I get too mad to turn back.
What about our instruments?
Come here, you little prick. Come here, you little fucking prick. Get out.
So I think that probably concludes our 20-minute video of me eating tacos while watching Sling Blade. I wonder if I can even load this up on YouTube. Thank you for your wonderful podcast, Dongtini. I'm going to put a little scroll at the bottom. But I dedicated all 6 tacos and one bean burrito to And I'll also dedicate this beer